You know, when a butcher is giving you a good cut of meat, you understand, and he understands, or they understand, that the flavor is in the fat. But too much fat is not good for you. Well, so too in the story. In every story you write, there's going to be some fat. Where you built up a scene, or you're trying to create an atmosphere. Write your story, take your first draft, then go back and see what fat you need to cut out. Have you beaten a certain theme too much? Have you used a certain expression too much? Have you made a scene that is really awesome, but might not necessarily belong in this particular story? Robert Dugoni just gave a fantastic article on, what scenes do I cut? And he went on to describe that he had a scene in one of his murder mysteries that was set in a meatpacking plant. I didn't read the scene, I just heard his description of it. It was really great. It really conveyed what I wanted to convey, but in looking at it, it didn't fit in with the rest of the story. So he cut that. Now, when you cut a scene from a manuscript, that does not mean when you're making movies, it's on the cutting room floor. No, that's not what we're talking about. You always have a folder for, I have a folder on my computer called deleted scenes. I can go back and reshape them, put them in something else. But what you should do when you're deciding what to cut, have you already made the impact that this scene is making? Well, if you have, then this is redundant and it's overkill. It's excess fat, trim it. Have you gotten kind of worked up and evolved in a scene or a theme or a dialogue or something that is pertinent to the main theme, but you kind of increased its significance more than it needs and it's a distraction to everything else? Cut that scene, or better yet, trim it down. Save it for later because it can be motivation for something else. But you're always going to ask yourself, have I cut too much? Have I let too much in? You're going to do that all the way. I do that to this day. I probably always will. That's okay. That's why they invented editors, so they can come in, have a completely objective view, because they are not emotionally invested in the character, the storyline, or the story arcs or anything else. It's not their baby. It's their job to look and see what needs to be done to improve it. Find yourself a good one and trust them. But also trust your own judgment and realize, okay, did I already make this statement? Did I already make this impact? If so, am I overdoing it? Clubbing somebody who's trying to mug you to knock them out is one thing. Bludgeoning them is something completely different. And the end result is treated differently. In the first case, knocking them out when they're trying to mug you, that's self-defense. In the second case, bludgeoning them once you've knocked them out, it's no longer self-defense, now it's assault. So you kind of got to go through the same thing with your scenes and your writing. Have you knocked something out, or are you assaulting it? And, that's kind of hard, and that's a challenge. So do your best to do that, and then I kind of trust an editor to help me in case I didn't have an objective view. So don't approach your manuscript like a butcher. Approach it like a surgeon. Cut, trim, but do it finely.